Have you ever been cheated on before?
No.
Have you cheated before?
Yeah.
Have you ever been cheated on?
Of course.
I'm just going to explain what it is that I'm trying to do. I know I kind of told you, but I'm going to... Okay, so I want to do a podcast.
Yes.
For now, I'm calling it Mzansi Madness.
Okay, Mzansi Madness, all right.
And basically what I want to do is talk about a range of things that I have been witnessing that I feel like we kind of accept in South Africa to be normal, but that I think that maybe are not necessarily normal. I think just for context, obviously, just because I've been outside of the country for such a long time, coming back is kind of like looking at these things and going like, oh, okay, interesting. Like we do them and we consider them normal, but there are other ways of doing them, I guess. How do we find new discourses to talk about things or to do things? So the first thing to me, which obviously comes from, my experiences, is alcohol as well, is the relationship thing. Because I feel like, it's interesting. And also, I'm not, I didn't ask you to come to talk to me about that because I don't even know anything about your relationships, but I mean, not that much at least, but just because you are South African, you know how relationships are done. You're
just
also
have an idea of how we think about them anyway.
Yeah, and also you're an actor, so you're exposed to a lot of different experiences and you know how different types of people do different things and you're observant and so I think it's also, we've spoken about relationships before, it was interesting conversations and you enjoy talking.
Oh wow.
And you have a nice voice.
Oh,
so all of those things.
Doctor.
And it gives us an opportunity to chill.
Let's hang, let's do it.
So firstly, Mzu.
Yes.
I don't know your surname.
Cool. So Mzukisi is the full name.
Yeah, okay, I knew that.
Ntantiso is the surname.
Yeah, that's weird. I never knew that.
Can you say?
Ntantiso.
Yeah, perfect. That's
putting me on the spot.
Yeah, we are on a spot.
Yeah, okay,
cool. Put you in the...
Okay, cool. So I want to talk about relationships. So this is the thing, right? I've been in Berlin for the past 10 years almost, back and forth. But so my relationships, platonic and romantic, have kind of been mainly in Berlin. Yes. So now I'm coming back. I'm in Cape Town, and I'm like witnessing. This is not just about me. This is about what I'm witnessing around. I'm going like, wow, there's in my opinion, a lot of dishonesty. Mm-hmm. A lot of distrust. Is that a word? Distrust? Distrust?
Distrust, yeah.
A lot of lying.
Yeah. And
specifically cheating going on in South African relationships. I'm not saying that it's an issue that is particular to South Africans only. But I'm saying the way that I'm witnessing it here, it's literally blowing my mind.
Cool.
I started asking people just the past couple of days or whatever, what their relationships are, and specifically, have they been cheated on? And everybody said yes.
Everybody, guys and girls, or mostly
guys and girls.
Okay, yeah.
Said yes. Yeah. And then you kind of go and have you ever cheated on somebody?
I have.
And then this wasn't even a question.
Oh, but I could get into it, but I'm probably
I will get
also
there.
the worst. But okay, yeah, go ahead.
But I literally, then I would ask, have you cheated on somebody before? And most people said yes as well, which I find, firstly, surprising and also great that they're honest about it now. Probably weren't so honest at the time.
Yeah, of course. Cheating. So you cheated, so you're not going to be honest about it.
But yeah, that's a...
I have cheated on someone before, but that was in high school. So I entirely blame it on being a kid and... Yeah, I do. And not actually realizing how hurtful it is for the other person. But after you... Because again, like you say, you grow up knowing that it's something that people do. Then you get caught up in this whirlwind of, and then you do it. And then either you learn from it or you don't. I guess I learned from it because I was in high school. Broke someone's heart. And then afterwards, the questions just came to mind like, is it worth it? Why? Why not leave if you're not interested anymore? Yeah, I could have been okay if I didn't actually cheat. I would have been just fine, not cheating. Because I actually did not want to leave. I wanted to stay.
In the relationship?
Yeah, I wanted to stay with the person. I had no issue with them. It's just greed. It's just curiosity. It's just the want for more. And then I think being able to get more. So there's a very interesting thing now. So when we were kids, this is what we used to say. I used to say, there'd be no cheating if girls said no.
Which girls?
The one you're going to cheat with.
But they don't know about your relationship.
So then there was that interesting thing, right? And in most of the cases I've been in, they do know. They know full well that you are in a relationship. They know 100%.
Wait, but are you shifting the blame from yourself to the girl that agreed to? Because she doesn't have the responsibility to.
No responsibility to anyone. I'm just saying that what happens then is that at some point, someone must say yes for this to actually happen. You are definitely guilty for going to approach and wanting to do this with someone else. But then someone else also then starts being guilty the minute they actually had the power to say
I don't
yes
think
or
that
no.
person is guilty. This is interesting, actually. Because I think that person that's coming from the outside has no responsibility to anybody in the relationship. So whatever they're doing...
So even though they know that you are in a relationship. Hi, I am with Tandy. I'm in a relationship. I'm just attracted to you. And I really would like to just... but you do realize I can't do more
I feel like
I'm with Tandy. I'm not leaving.
Because they don't know the ins and outs of your relationship. So that person could, whatever, I'm not excusing that person, but I'm saying that person could potentially think you have an open relationship, for instance. I don't know what your deal is within your relationship.
I'm saying
but how much information...
I'm going to lie.
Why are you giving so much information to this person that you're cheating with?
To lie.
That's also really interesting because that means that you're so honest with the person that you're cheating with.
Yes.
But it's so dishonest to the person that you claim. I'm not saying you, but in this example that you're saying, to the person that you claim to love and to be a relationship.
So that's one of the lessons I'm saying you then get to learn after you do it. Because before you don't, it's such a, like I said, it's such a normal thing. People do.
So this is very interesting because what is that normal?
It happens, bro. Hey?
In your surroundings.
Yeah, in your surroundings,
in
your adult relationships, in the stories that you've heard, in the way people seem to deal with things, it somehow seems like it's okay. And there is one thing that I also think makes this continue happening, is the fact that usually those who cheat get forgiven. And they end up in the relationship anyway. There's a lot more forgiving than relationships that end because someone cheated. If you had to take the stats.
Wait, really?
Yeah. People get forgiven. And if you actually note, women forgive men more than men would forgive women.
For sure.
Men can't, they just thank you very much, I'm done here. But usually the guys get forgiven. So I think it's part of advantage taking. I really can't explain. That I've always wanted a lady to explain to me because I don't understand what it is. But whatever that thing is, I think it is also the thing that I won't say encourages men to do this, but I think they just know that they can get away with it.
So that just means that it's considered a normal part of a relationship, which is the thing that I'm trying to dissect or trying to figure out. Is this a normal part of relationships in this country? Is the cheating and the lying? Because as soon as you, what you're saying is it gets forgiven. It's okay, you accept that to be a thing. I mean, I have heard people say oh yeah, but men, boys will be boys, men will, that kind of thing. But I do think for one, women cheat as well.
And they're better at it than men.
I mean,
because they keep quiet. That's the biggest thing I've always said.
Really?
Yeah.
The difference is they don't get found out?
Not until too late, and usually the scandal is too big. So this is the other difference. A guy cheats, chances are you find out over some stupid message and back and forth. A girl cheats, you probably won't find out for 4 years until she's either pregnant or got an abortion.
Do you know these stories?
Yeah, I know a couple of these. I'm like, damn. Or something very deep, or it's your best friend that she's been doing this with. Or it's usually the scandal is usually my God, how did you even get it right? Is the part that usually surprises. It's but guys, be some girl in Durbanville that you wouldn't know. So it's this weird Yeah, the scandals are usually much bigger. And then, like I also say, women are very good at it. They never late. You know, it says, I'm going to be at home at 6, they at home at 6. They said, we're going to go check this out. They always go. They always around to go check this out. Men are stupid.
You're agreeing with me that cheating and lying is a big part of relationships.
So I'm saying it happens. I don't think anyone actually looks at it and goes, oh, it should happen because this is part of it. It's normal. I'm just saying that it does happen.
Do you understand? I mean, you're saying that, okay, it was like growing up also for you, it was something that you saw in the relationships around you, in the adult relationships around you, and so it was just something that you kind of, that it becomes a part of relationships because you're viewing it in relationships. Do you think that there would be a possibility for other ways of having a relation? So I'm wondering, right, with the cheating, coming from this context of being in Berlin for so long, where obviously cheating exists, obviously like it would be insane to say that it doesn't happen. I really think that it happens way more in South Africa. I think that the lying in general, not just cheating, but just lying happens way more in South Africa than in the relationships that I view in Germany. A part of that has to do with the fact that I think there's more of an acceptance for open relationships, for instance, for different forms of relationships. I know you don't.
No, I'm smiling. So that's leading us to an interesting thing.
Right. Yeah. So I think that in Berlin, at least, I mean, the rest of Germany is different, but in Berlin, at least, people are more open to alternative forms, and I say alternative forms of relationships. For instance, open relationships where you acknowledge that you have needs that maybe can't be met within that relationship, and so you can look for those things outside of the relationship, but there's honesty and there's trust, and so you kind of get together and you say, okay, these are the things that you can do outside of the relationship. If you want to sleep with other people, then you can do that. We can both do that, but let's be honest, right? There's various reasons why you should be honest. Also health reasons, whatever, you don't have to. But I feel like what I don't understand in South Africa is, if it seems like so many people cheat and feel the need to cheat, I don't know if that is about sex. But if you want to have sex with other people, why don't you just do that? Be honest about it. Then you're trusting your partner, you're respecting your partner enough to be honest. And you don't risk their health as well. I think that's like another factor. And what I really don't understand is we come from a culture of polygamy exists within our culture, right? So our grandfathers would have had many wives, and that was the way that it was. And I don't understand why now we kind of pretend that we're monogamous, but we're not really. When we could just be like, okay, we come from this polygamous culture, why don't we, maybe let's take that into where we are now and say, okay, let's open that up for everybody, and we can all trust. I mean, guys are jealous, but
so okay, before we move on to this particular part, I wanted to say, I think what causes people as well to keep on cheating is, I don't think they realize how serious it is for the person who gets hurt, and for whatever reasons, including the one of always being forgiven, mostly being forgiven. I think people treat cheating like when you're drinking while you still stay at home. You're not supposed to do it. And then the question is like, why don't you just get honest with the parents and tell them, I want to smoke and drink. I'm in high school, but don't worry, I'll pass my standard and I'll be cool. It's just not a cool thing to go and say. But you'll do it, and it's like, it doesn't actually change anything. I'm going to go to school, I'm going to attend my classes, I'm going to do my homework, but I just want to drink and smoke when I'm chilling with the homies. And all it is feels like, we're just being naughty. Nothing really, no one really gets hurt. And I think that's how people are treating cheating.
Most people have been cheated on, and so they know what it feels like.
Yeah, so now this is where this thing becomes interesting. If you are a kid, and you are the one who you go out and you do these funny things, and then you find out that your mother takes ecstasy, I still feel you feel very weird about that. That you didn't know your mom was a drug addict. But you feel like it's okay if you're a kid in high school and you can do these naughty things. But if it's your mom doing it, all of a sudden it's a big problem. It's like, whoa, wait. The hell? You a junkie, mom?
Wait, I don't understand the analogy.
The reason being, you say the people who are doing this have also been cheated on.
Yeah.
Yet, when they do it, they act as if they don't know how it really feels. Because I said they cheat because they seem to not to realize how serious the hurt is for the person who got cheated on. And you're saying, but they've been cheated on.
You don't
and therefore
think
they know.
so? I would say the opposite, and I would say, I mean, sounds corny, but hurt people.
Facts. I mean, that is facts, right? But then that's a different way of living now. A guy or a girl who cheats because she got hurt cheats because they just don't trust anyone. It's no longer the same as when they were cheating, like I'm talking about smoking in high school and drinking, which is just this naughty thing you do and you get away with it. And nobody really gets hurt. Which is what I think that's exactly how I thought of it in high school, for example. It's just this silly thing that you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, and then you chill with your homies and you're like, oh yeah, I did this situation. It's like, oh yeah, that's dope, man. And the dope part is not the cheating. The dope part is that, oh man, I've got a girlfriend and then I met Tandy and I think Tandy's hot as fuck and I want to hook up with Tandy. Now that's I got it done. You did? Yeah.
Wait, it's like props, like respect.
Yeah, but see, not for the cheating, for getting with Tandy. That's the props. The props is, yo, Tandy's hot, bro. Yeah, she is very hot. And
so basically what you're saying is like the cheating part is so normal that you don't even have to talk about it. It's literally just about the...
So yeah, and I'm saying that's because...
That's even more fucked up.
Yeah, I agree. But that's what I'm saying to you. It's how it begins because no one takes it seriously. At that point in time, you're just thinking of it as, like I said, smoking and drinking in high school. You could get expelled for it.
You're talking about back in the day now, when you were growing up.
Yeah, when you were a kid.
Like.
So that's what I'm saying. This is what makes it
now?
normal because you practice it as a kid.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
And that's how you kind of sort of get into it. Because all it is just like this normal naughty thing that you do. Then either you learn because the person you cheated on finds out and they get hurt. And then you learn your lesson and go, actually, this is really messed up. I didn't actually think about how crazy what I just did is.
Yeah.
Or...
Do you think that's the general experience for South African men?
Some never find out. And therefore you never learn. Or when it happened, it's like, again, it started off with such a silly situation. It was in high school. She's hurt for 3 weeks and then she's with a new boyfriend. Because we kids.
Yeah.
Oh, hurt, and then she's got a new boy. So you don't really learn this lesson of how messed up what happened is. It's just like, I got busted. Aye. So then you do it again. Because it still sits in the same place where it's like, is this naughty thing, whatever. And I don't think anyone goes in a relationship going, I want to be with you, Tandy, because I want to cheat on you. I don't even think they think that far until then they're with you and then they meet Samantha. And then they're going,
You already think it's just like thinking somebody's super hot and then wanting to fuck them.
And I'm telling you, because Samantha usually gets hurt because she thinks it's about something more. And it was like, whoa, I told you I'm with Tandy. I was not mistaken. I want to be with Tandy. I just think you're banging.
So why can't you do that and go and tell Tandy that you want... Why can't that be a part of like
the cowardice part then, so now we're moving on to that thing, is then the results that you think you don't want. Part of telling opens up the fact that we need to agree that we are in an open thing, which means I must know that James is also going to get some from you. I don't want that. And that's the reason. People will be like, oh, hell to the no. To the no.
So what you're saying... You're saying, do you think this is from,
the
from
idea
a man's perspective?
Yeah, from a man's perspective. I don't know how women feel about the idea.
Have you ever had a relationship where you've thought about introducing the concept of an open relationship and felt like you don't want to do that because you don't want her to hook up with other people, even though
most definitely, yes. I can guarantee you, I'm not gonna be interested in her once I know that other cats can be with her. 1,000.
You won't be interested in her.
1,000%, yes.
It's not that you'd be too jealous. It's that you wouldn't be interested.
Literally, I don't even know. Maybe jealousy is in there, but overall, it all ends. Everything changes. Everything changes. Hi guys, I met Tandy. Who's Tandy? Wow, feels good. Oh, it's either shorty when you meet her one day. Tandy, cool. Oh, this is Tandy. Oh man, she's so cool. She is right. Props. Meet Tandy, date with Tandy. Oh, did you manage to get a date with Tandy? Yeah, I got a date with Tandy. That was so dope, man. How are things looking? I think I'm gonna end up with Tandy. Cool, end up with Tandy. All of these things feel great and lead towards the special thing about, yeah, Tandy, my girlfriend. My girlfriend. I'm in a relationship with Tandy, me. Not y'all, me. Different scenario. Yo, guys, it's Tandy. Oh yeah, we know Tandy.
See Naima laughing.
Yeah. You know, but that's boys, right? And this is most boys. Again, I'm not saying all of them. This is most. Yo, that's Tandy. Oh yeah, we know Tandy. Oh what? Now Tandy's his ex. He been hooking up with her, and he kind of almost got it right. Straight away, it's just like.
But I mean, okay, but that is even if you want monogamous relationships, you're gonna have that problem because Cape Town is tiny and it's very incestuous and like that.
Again,
that's a general thing.
Again,
no?
so there's this thing, right?
Yeah.
Where if I meet 7 guys, do you know Tandy? Yeah, I know Tandy, man. Fudge. I was with her for 2 years and it didn't work out for us. Okay, cool. Then the conversation usually carries on like that. But she's dope as fuck, man. We're so different, and I don't know if now it would work or whatever. Okay, this is fine. That guy, nah, I liked Tandy, but I never had a shot. Dope. But she's so fine, but there's no way I could even. Dope. That's okay. Because it still doesn't take away this. I guess it's an ego thing. He had this chance, it didn't work out. She's dope, and I think it'll work out with me. And then it does work.
Man, but then like egos are fucking destroying relationships because
they kill it. Of course they do. But what I've come to understand is I don't know if there is a way you could actually change it.
So you don't think that open relationships are as a form of relationships would work in South Africa?
I think they can for certain people, but I also just know that the idea that this is the medicine for relationships in general is not true. And I feel like you should know yourself. For me, the cure for any relationship is yourself. Are you able to be in a relationship like that? What does relationship mean? What is the point of a relationship if everybody can be with anybody? It's the understanding of what it means to be in a relationship with you, but be open with other people. Like, what are the limits? What is this my girlfriend part?
This is interesting because this is what I think a relationship is it's a romantic relationship that is based on trust and communication.
And what's a best friend? If those things make relationship, what's a best friend? Isn't that what you do with your best friends? So I'm like, what's the part that makes you mine?
Do you have sex with your best friend?
No. But once we open up open relationships, I could now potentially have sex with all my best friends. Right. Now my question is, why am I keeping 8 girlfriends when I have got 6 other girls who are literally my best friends? I trust them, I love them, I'm open with them, they advise me on everything. Oh, and now great, we've got open relationships. I can also have sex with them, and it's not an issue with all 6 of them. This is awesome. Why am I choosing any girlfriend at that point?
But obviously you know that you have, or generally a lot of people have that one person that they have that crazy connection with, no?
I think it also comes then with the practices, and that's what influences that connection. I feel like once the practices can be shared with anybody else, you're just left with, I trust you, I would do anything for you. I feel like people have got best friends in life, and they would do the same for their best friends. Now you just opened up the sex part of it. I don't know. Again, you're right. Yeah. I'm not saying that is the case. I'm rather asking a question, say, this is how my mind thinks of it. I'm like, at that point, I'm just very confused at what the point of this is my girlfriend is when I can have sex with all the people I love and trust and would die for and would pretty much do anything for. Because I feel like usually the intimate practices add to all of this. I love you, I trust you, and I would do anything. I feel like they add to that, and that's usually why someone says, "This is my partner," and can and would forsake all others for this person. Not that I don't get horny when I see so and so, but it's really nothing in compared to what I've got at home. So am I?
But that's what's confusing to me, is that because people will say, so they'll have a relationship and then they'll cheat on a partner and then be like, yeah, but it didn't mean anything. It's like, so does it mean something or does it not mean something? You know?
No, so
because you can have sex without it meaning something, but you can have sex with it meaning something.
Yeah.
So isn't that...
I agree with that part. But that's what I'm saying is, usually in these cheating situations, the guy never cheats with the best friend girl.
Right.
Because it's about it meaning nothing.
Yeah.
It's a girl.
Okay.
There. Means nothing. She's hot. The end. Hey, ta-da, let's do it. Nice. But when you open this channel of being able to also have sex with the people who do mean something to you, I do think all of a sudden things do change.
But I think that this is the thing within that relationship that you have, right?
Yeah.
Those are the things that you would negotiate. It's not like, okay, if you decide to have an open relationship now, you can do anything you fucking want to. Like, obviously, you still have boundaries. It's not like it's like this free-for-all kind of thing. But what I'm saying is that, to me, an open relationship seems like a good alternative where you can talk openly to each other about the needs that you have or the longings that you have, and you can negotiate them. Whereas the relationships that I'm viewing, but I mean, obviously there are monogamous relationships that work very well, but the dysfunctional ones don't have that open communication. Yeah. But my problem is that what I'm seeing is that most monogamous relationships in this country that I'm seeing, that I'm witnessing, are dysfunctional. Yeah. And it has something to do with a lack of communication or bad communication, where things are kept from each other, where people lie, and I still don't really understand why there is that need for it. I mean, I've been seeing horrible things. So I went to the gym the other day and I asked the one instructor, I don't know what you call that, if he's been cheated on. He said yes. I asked him if he's cheated. He says yes. And then I asked him why. And he said, well, because she thought I was cheating all the time anyways, and I wasn't. Yeah. So I decided to cheat, because I was like, what's the point of not cheating when I'm like being accused all the time? Which I thought was kind of ridiculous. But at the same time, he kind of made an interesting point, which is that if there's an expectation of cheating, cheating will come. So there's that like normality of cheating, and so it becomes normal.
So I guess then the underlying issue is the fact that we all just don't trust each other. And
that I find terrifying, because that has something to do with you yourself knowing that you yourself are doing things. Like, I mean, what I've been experiencing is like like this thing of like, what are you doing? Are you doing this? It's like, no. Why do you think that because you're... Yeah, like, it's very, so then you start distrusting that person. Now it's like you're in this weird space where you're just like, I don't know who to trust anymore, you know? Yeah. And
it is a difficult one, the chicken or the egg first. I'm not sure.
It's not even just the cheating. I think there's a general thing of like things that I don't understand in terms of communication, and in terms of so even the way that the way that I'll get approached by guys, right? It's very quick for a guy to say things that are like very emotional, like I love you.
Oh wow!
It is a very common thing.
Yeah, it's a very, very common thing.
And it's a fucking lie.
Yeah, it is.
And I don't understand. Yeah. I don't understand the point of that. To me, that's a part of this thing of like lying in relationships, because you can just be honest and be like, listen, I think you're cute, I want to fuck. Yeah. But instead, there's this whole like thing of, let me get you a drink, and I love, like literally, it's so quick for a guy to say that. I'm like, this is literally, there's no ways.
That is an interesting one, because I do think that there's a bit of being conservative here, with the idea that it's never been cool to be seen as a girl who just fucks, number one.
Right.
And then also, if you approach someone with that, you made to feel disrespectful. for being interested in just fucking. So then people decided, I just gotta lie to get what I want. And then they do. Because they want it. That doesn't change. It's just, there's no way of like literally going, so, ta-ta, how you doing? Let's fuck, please.
There's no way I'm doing that.
Not no way. I'm saying like the general practice in South Africa is that's not a cool thing to say to someone. It's actually kind of fucked up.
Have you pretended to be more into somebody than you actually were because you wanted to hook up with them?
I never have, but I just think I'm very confusing to some people. Just because if I am interested in having sex with you, I'm interested in eating a meal with you. I'm interested in having a conversation with you. I'm interested in hanging with you. I am genuinely interested. So that comes and it all works out. And then I will tell you, I'm attracted to you. I'm interested in you, but I'm not interested in a relationship with you. And if you want to get into the reasons for why, we can have those conversations about why I can't be in a relationship with you. And then we get down to doing what we want to do if we get down to doing it. But other people possibly don't want to hang out with you. They actually really probably want nothing else besides, can we just get down with the deed? And I think the person who wants to ask for that probably feels some type of way about feeling that way in the first place about someone, because they're like, that's really kind of messed up. But it doesn't change the fact that it's how I feel though. And then to actually muster up the courage to go and say that to someone and then actually get a positive result from that is, wow, it's a bit weird. And I don't know what would happen if we got comfortable with that. If you literally could just walk up to people and be like...
You think it would be problematic?
Given the things you already think are problems now, I don't think the lies in relationships would change. It's just that now all of a sudden it's much more easier to just do what you gotta do.
No, it would be just way more honest, and then you can base your actions on on truth, on knowing what's going on.
I still don't
because I
think
do
it
think that
solves
there are a lot of
relationship
women
issues.
that are very impressionable and that might literally go with you because they think, oh, this guy actually does care about me. I'm into him. He says that he cares about me, but that's like a really fucked up basis for any type of...
I agree. And also there's another problem that I will change you. There's a lot. For me personally, I'll tell you there's that. He's just saying that. I will change him. And I'm like, okay. And then I don't change. And then now apparently I'm the dog and I'm like, I'm very confused.
Wait. Say it. Okay, so...
He'll change. He's just saying that he can't be in a relationship with me.
Okay.
He doesn't like me like that. He don't know what I got in store. When you're going to taste the best, he's going to know about this. And then, and then it's cool. Like, yeah, it's dope. And then you don't change.
Okay, but
then people still get hurt
but that's
anyway.
Somebody else's problem. It's like
for
them to not believe what you're saying. That's fucked up. But if you're speaking the truth, then we should take that truth at face value. But if everybody's lying, you never know what is happening.
No, I agree. I agree with what you're saying. I'm just rather looking at at the bottom of it all. I think people just don't trust each other. Almost like relationships here work because if I want a relationship to work, I feel like I must keep you to make it work. Which is part of why I think there's a lot of jealousy in relationships. Yeah. Is that people feel like they must keep you. It's like, I must know what's happening on your phone to make sure that nothing's happening. I must know all the people you're going to see in order for this to make sure you don't cheat. It's like there's an underlying, I believe you're going to cheat anyway. I just believe it. It's like, I believe you're weak enough to make it, to get that happening.
The experience is that everybody cheats. Because it's so normal. The lying and the cheating is so normal that you go into a relationship not trusting. And that's,
Facts.
I mean, also obviously as you grow older, you kind of collect all these experiences and realize, oh shit, this is what's up. And then you go into the new relationship kind of with that truth in hand and you act that way. I think it's I think a lot of it also has to do with power dynamics. I think there's also like a thing of in heterosexual relationships of these male-female power dynamics that still do exist. I think a lot of the time women will rely on men to be the breadwinner, for instance, so that obviously affects the way that you the way that you express yourself and the things that you expect from a man. I think there's a big thing of like women expecting...
Do you think that happens in lesbian relationships too? Because I know in gay relationships, the same thing happens. whoever the female person is in the relationship gets cheated on.
I mean, that's not a thing.
That's not a thing.
What? Well,
the female person in the relationship. You're saying it's not a thing in lesbian relationships. In two females' relationships.
They'd both be women, so they'll both be female.
So that's interesting.
I mean, I do think cheating. There was another woman that I asked at the gym. Actually, I've been spending a lot of time at the gym. I asked her if she's been cheated on, and she said, yeah. And she was engaged to a woman, and this woman cheated on her. I think. I mean, obviously, that it's not like it's exclusive to heterosexual relationships.
So what what I just find interesting is the few, because it's really not a lot.
Yeah.
Relationships that I know, lesbian relationships.
Yeah.
The one who is the dude, and I say,
what does that mean?
I'll tell you. And it usually it's even in the look.
Okay.
The one dresses like a dude, and the other one is girly. The other one has makeup and dresses. The masculine looking one acts more masculine. The one who holds the hand. The one who wants to beat the guy. Who wants to, when she's talking to a guy, she's the one who wants to be, hey, get away from here. Basically everything men do. Literally. Everything that men do, there's usually that one in the relationship who is doing everything that a man does. And usually when I've chilled with them...
Wait, and you're saying what a man does is like being aggressive?
Yeah, being so you say aggressive, I'm saying protective. You can call it aggression, being protective of of your thing, your relationship, your person, your vibe, your whatever it is. There's definitely people who are like that. And also the same when they talk. I don't think the cheating is any different. I think they do the exact same thing. Like the amount of lying, the amount of cheating, and how many girls they will be with.
I mean,
I think it's completely different for the one who is the girl in the relationship.
Okay, that part I don't know what that. I mean,
it's an interesting.
But I mean, I do think that it's not exclusive to heterosexual relationships, lying and cheating. I do. I mean, for sure. I think that's a general pattern that is a learned pattern, I guess, from the relationships that we've seen, and kind of take that on. Yeah. But I do think that what is particular to heterosexual relationships in South Africa is that a lot of the time women are, there's this conservative view of relationships that says that men pay for women, for instance, which I find deeply problematic. I really dislike it, because with that paying for you, there's also simultaneously this expectation of now that it means something. Whereas I'm like, you don't need to buy my love or my care or that's a weird. To me, it's a weird concept. I also find it weird because it's like, if I'm earning more money, why should you pay for it? Like, let's either split the bill, or if I've just earned money, then I pay for you. Guys are shocked. If I ever buy something for a guy, they're literally like, what the fuck is going on? And I find that so strange. But so with that, I feel like a lot of time comes this thing of like, the woman expects the guy to pay for her things, but then also it's not just drinks, it's like weaves, it's like I'm like, what the fuck? But then with that comes this thing of like, okay, but then you excuse what the guy does because he's paying for your lifestyle, you know. And so that's why I'm saying power dynamics kind of also add to this thing.
That I completely agree, because I mean I've actually seen it. Like it's that's a very abusive relationship in any case, because also the person who has the power knows that they're like, whatever, you're not gonna go anywhere because you want.
But it's like abuse almost on both sides. Like I'm used, like the what I've seen from women, how they use guys and don't care that their money, that their income is limited, but they like want the most expensive alcohol, the most, you know, it's like. So
this is where now it becomes very interesting, because.
I thought it was interesting all the time.
It was. No, but I mean, even more interesting in this kind of topic. I'm just saying is that when it comes to the money and the power dynamics, is all of a sudden, the uncomfortable conversations that we were talking about, like you don't know how to go to someone and say, I just want to have sex with you. They almost don't need to happen anymore. You know, so I call it, the guy who wouldn't be able to mac on you can now mac on you because he's paid. And that's the prevalent culture now in South Africa. It's a lot of it. Like
I mean, it's obviously not just South Africa. It's it's
everywhere.
a global thing.
Fine. But like you said, you see a lot of it when you're looking at it here. If I pay, you get. And there are various levels of this. I mean, there's some scary things I'm not even sure you are aware of. That, like, people... I'm like, we are in the age of prostitution. Facts. Literally, I'm going to pay for your nookie.
I don't know, man. I think prostitution is more honest than that. Prostitution to me is like, that's like sex work is work.
I completely agree. But then what I'm saying is there's still a level of no one wants to admit that that's what I'm doing there. Because that's what I'm saying. Usually when the swear words come, it's like, just tell me you're a prostitute and it's okay. I'll decide. It's like, cool, how much do you charge? 10,000. I mean, in whatever, in drinks, in dinner, in what do you want? What does it all amount to? So I can just pay you this amount and then we can get on with our lives and do what we gotta do. You know? So I agree. I think admitting that you're a prostitute is actually just honest and it's your work. And you can't judge a prostitute if you're going to a prostitute. Like, it's stupid to judge that, but it's what you want. It's the services you want, but then you're also judging it. It's a bit weird. But I think people do judge because the people they're getting together with don't think of themselves as such. And yet the requirements are pretty much the same. Pay. And you get.
But my problem is that I feel like a lot of people think that is what a normal relationship is.
Oh no, I don't.
But it is. I was driving with this guy the other day. I can't remember what we were talking about. But he was telling me, because I wasn't wearing my duk, so I was like, bald head, whatever. We were talking about that, and then he was saying that it's so nice because it's cheap. You don't have to spend money. He was saying that he spends so much money on his wife's weave every month. And then he told me like the amount, and I was like, wait, what? Like, how does that even? That's like rent money. Do you know what I mean? And so then initially I was like, okay, so she buys that every month, she pays, and he's like, no, I pay for that. She doesn't work. And I was like, oh, okay, so yeah, that's what their relationship is. That he makes money and then he has to spend it on her because he says that sometimes she'll take off her weave and that will be like the sign, like, okay, I need a new weave, And I'm like, this is manipulative.
1,000%.
But at the same time, he's going with it. It's like...
I'm unable to really, really speak deeply about that because I'm just not that kind of guy.
Right. But you see those relationships,
no, fact.
Right?
Completely... It's a thing. It is the thing, right? But then, I'm completely divorced from it. It's not my thing. But with that being said, I also probably haven't dated a South African in a very long time because of these things. If you go out and you meet people, these conversations usually either start like that. Buy me a drink.
With South African women?
Yeah. Okay. What are you drinking? Then they were drinking Savannah, but now all of a sudden they're drinking double Jameson. Okay.
That's my drink, by the way.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
I like that. I
find myself doing things like this even in a club situation. I'm like, we're chilling with people.
Yeah.
And then I say, I'm going to the bar. Does anyone else who needs anything? All of a sudden, people are drinking champagne. People are drinking vodkas that okay, cool. And I get all the orders. And then I go, so give me the money.
Oh, you do that?
Yeah. I said I didn't say I'm buying. I said I'm going to the bar. So I'm not saying I do not date South Africans because of. I'm just saying that in most situations, I end up finding very easier and more common grounds with people who have a similar thinking to me. And it's more often than not, people who are not from here. Where we don't have these issues about
because they're
who must
more
pay, who
open
must pick up, who must
no?
do whatever.
Isn't that the reason?
I mean, you taking it as far as now relationships in general. I don't know how they are about relationships in general. People...
No, but more honest in terms of what it is that they want. That's what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
Just generally more... It's more straightforward.
Facts.
Right?
Yeah. But again, there's it is definitely cultural differences between, I guess, Europeans and South Africans in general. And also starting from where I started, I said to you, we're a bit conservative. But that also has a lot to do with our general cultures, I think you being a person who's very free with your sexual activity in Germany doesn't negate you from being someone's wife. I do think here you're gonna struggle becoming someone's wife if people know that you're open with your sexual activity to whatever level. So if everyone just knows, Tata's cool, no, she hooks up with cats, she just, she's chill, she's doing her thing. To become a candidate to be someone's wife becomes very tricky.
That's hilarious.
But I think over there it's
what?
cool. Yeah, it becomes a bit.
Wait, are you okay? You're actually specifically talking about me right now. It seems, right?
No.
You're
I'm used. So I'm saying European, and I'm saying
person.
because now you said yeah. So now.
Okay, so a person that openly talks about their sexuality.
Yes.
And
it's a generally known thing. You
will
chances are
that a South African man
to become a candidate for a wife.
South African man.
Yeah, I'm gonna say South African man because I can't. I don't.
Well,
yeah.
Right.
Chances are you're very tricky. They can't see wife. They're like, nah, this one, no. For different reasons. Number one, depending on how many people they. So again, don't get me wrong, right? In general African cultures, there's a very big level of privacy, and then people also mistake this. I don't think people assumed that women just stay at home and don't have sex until they get married, or they have sex with one guy or two guys and then they get married. But what the nature of the culture did was this discreetness. Do it, be discreet, be smart, and shut up, so that when I still take you as a wife, there's so much pride that I'm never going to walk up and give some other idiot going, oh, I don't fuck the shit out of his wife. Oh, I fuck the shit out of that girl. I must, when I take the wife, it must, the pride levels and, the pride levels of having Tata as my wife should be so high, because there is no idiot here who would even dare to even think of you that way. This is one of the other things. When you have a girlfriend, I genuinely don't trust any of your guy friends. Right?
So
but
maybe do this.
but
Ready?
But generally, right? I don't know any dude who has time to go sit with a hot chick. Today is Saturday. I want to spend my day with Mzu's girlfriend because I want to look into Tata's eyes and just talk about how beautiful life is and us to discuss whatever.
I'm an extremely fun person to be around.
I don't disagree. I'm saying to you, I don't know any dude who can do that and is only interested in the fact that you are just fun to hang out with. I don't know them. I'm not saying they don't exist. I don't know any dude like that. Most dudes are awesome.
But then are you saying that no girl can have guy friends where the friendships are because in a way in South Africa I kind of agree.
Yeah.
I have problems with my guy friendships in South Africa.
Yeah.
Deeply disturbing, annoying to me because I don't understand what the fuck is going on half the time. Whereas in Berlin, most of my friends are guys.
Yeah.
And it's very platonic, and we've been friends for years, and it's very, very easy. And I know that none of them are looking into my eyes and like thinking.
So
like for sure, I know that.
And I'm gonna tell you this: you ask a South African guy, you mean to tell me there's 3 friends of yours who just chill with you and they just looking at you like, oh, she's my friend, man. We just hang out on Saturday, go on bike rides, and go climb a mountain because that's just how cool it is to hang out with Tata. This is what she's gonna get you. Stupid motherfuckers. So dumb. My God. I'd be so happy to climb a mountain with you.
But you have girlfriends,
no? So then what happens is and even as a result, when I'm a friend of yours and I've got a girlfriend, you will notice how different the relationship starts becoming. I won't hang out with you on Saturday.
So that means you're macking on every girlfriend you have, like every friend that's a girl all the time.
There is a potential to mac on any hot girl that I see. Definitely.
Even when she's your friend?
Yeah, because, this is for me, I've always said, you become my friend because there's a reason we can't be together. If you're hot. Definitely. There's no two ways about it. There's no way I wake up and see my new best friend in a hot woman. Oh my God, Halle Berry, my new best friend. Fuck that. None of that. There is no such thing. Either what happens is I have a girlfriend, I go out with you, Tata, you bring Halle Berry, I meet her. Now we can have a very cool friendship because I have a girlfriend. That's why. If I was single, don't get me wrong. I'm like, she though. Oh my God. And with you, there'll also be the same difference. Be like, why? No, I met Tata when I already had a girlfriend. Okay, so then we became friends. And now we are genuinely friends. Like, it's fine. It's cool. I've gotten to know you and everything is fine. But I feel like a friendship between guys, men and women usually needs a reason. Something happened that caused it to not go to the attraction part.
I really don't understand. Is that I can just the basics here? Are you does that mean you're attracted to every woman?
I'm attracted to every attractive woman. Yes, but
that is insane.
Whoa. Hold on.
Is that not insane?
Hold on.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But what that means? So, wow, she's hot. I'll never not be able to see a hot woman. That in itself, the fact that I can go, oh my God, she is hot. Sometimes that is also okay because of what I'm doing in my life. I don't have to be interested in more or pursuing or wanting to do more with her because I have a relationship and I'm fine in my relationship. Doesn't change the fact that I'm going, oh my God. To the extent that if you probably had to sit with me and my friend, a guy friend, you might hear a conversation that goes like this. God damn it, bro, my girlfriend's friend. Jesus, she is so hot. You literally have a need 30-minute conversation just now. She's hot. Then we're done.
Wow,
we just need to
boring.
We just need to get it. We just need to get it out of the way. And then we get it out of the way and it's not a problem. It's cool. Now I become friends with said person. We can be friends. We are friends. Because there is a reason why it could not even tip over to the other side. Straight away. But there is no way that I'm single and I'm just going to make friends with a hot chick. Until there's a reason.
Even if she's like really cool and hilarious.
Even better, the more cool.
Intelligent.
Why wouldn't I like a girl who's intelligent, cool, and beautiful? Please tell me. What part of me does not like that? If you are all those things, duh, I like you.
Yeah, but you have guy friends that are cool and intelligent. And
I'm not attracted to guys. So that doesn't even make sense to me. Like that, you can't use that as I'm not attracted to guys. Guys are not an option of my sexual, needs. So they don't count. I can have 20 million guy friends. What's up, man? You good? Ain't no problem, buddy. Females, on the other hand, is completely different. I am attracted to females. So the conversation there is completely different. And like I say to you, if I am single, this even goes as far as this. If a guy goes, Mzu, I've got this very good friend of mine called Tandi. She's beautiful, she's intelligent, she's very funny, and man, and she's very talented. You'd like her. My first question to my friend is, why aren't you with her? Because she just told me she's perfect. If you meet a perfect woman as a single guy, why wouldn't you want a perfect woman? So tell me the truth. What is it about her that you don't like, that's causing you not to be with her? Then there's got to be a reason. It's either, no, everything is dope, but I met her through my girlfriend, so she's just my friend. Acceptable, dope. So there's no need to even consider for anything else. You can't tell me you were single, you went to a bar, you met her, you find out how dope she is, and you just didn't want her. No such thing. Then you're going to tell me, nah, but yo, she told me about her relationship and just how crazy her things. I'm like, there we go. So there's a nutsness you're not telling me about. Okay, cool. Now, I feel like maybe it's a nuts I can work with or not, right. Depending. But my thing is, there is no such thing as representing the perfect woman and you're not interested in it. She's too young, fine. She's too old, fine. She's got...
I think the most truthful answer to that question would be, she's not interested in me.
And So
that's probably the one that's like spitting.
So I guess that's the only one I didn't mention.
Right.
It's the number one that usually works.
But then probably that guy wouldn't be referring you to that person.
No, they wouldn't. Probably. I mean, if it never went anywhere, it's just like, because again, this is not based on there were 8 months of me falling in love with her. This is usually like in the 2 weeks, I'm just describing how cool and how dope she is. So it's not a deep thing. It's not like, oh my God, I'm so in love with her and she said no and I want her again. But yes, that is usually the number one reason. Mzu, why are you referring me to Tata and say she said no to me? Ah, dope. explains everything, then she probably is really what you say she is, except she just wasn't interested in you. So cool, keep it moving.
I was hearing from a friend. This is kind of digressing a little bit now, but from a friend who was telling me about a girlfriend of his who platonic. She wanted to get married to this guy. She was like, "This is the next level."
Yeah.
Like apparently, it's playing games if you're not married or whatever the fuck. So,
yeah, I don't get this stuff.
so, but instead of having a conversation with her guy that she's in a relationship with about wanting to get married, she did this thing where she asked my friend to borrow a pair of his sneakers. So he's like, "What? Why do you want my sneakers?" She's like, "Just give me your sneakers." So what she did is she took her sneakers, she put them into her apartment, and when her boyfriend came home, he was like, "Whose shoes are these?" And she's like, "What's it to you? We're not married."
Wow.
Which to me is like, I mean, this is a real thing, right? It's like, what a G.
Yes, gangster.
So I'm like, to me, I'm hearing this and I'm like, this is so fucking manipulative.
It is.
It's terrifying because basically she's just making him jealous.
Yeah.
Which is a painful thing, making somebody jealous. Why do you not honestly communicate what it is that you want in that point of a relationship instead of playing these games that have nothing, in my mind, to do with respecting your partner?
I agree.
It's terrifying.
But that doesn't shock me either. People are so protective of their hearts and their feelings that there's no telling what they'll do for them. And that's a perfect example. Everything else that you just mentioned is the thing about sense. People aren't using sense at the time when they're being protective of their... I want this guy to marry me. He couldn't have wasted 10 years of my life and he's going to tell me he's not getting married. And he's taking too long. He must get it done. So what am I going to do? Sneakers. Makes sense now. Let's go. Let's do it. A normal thinking person, I don't think would do that. But I just,
but
again,
that kind of
when
shit
people
so
are
much.
desperate... Yeah, but I mean, it's just telling you how desperate people become. When people are desperate and they're protective of whatever they're protective of, they don't do anything that makes sense. They do manipulative things, ridiculous things. Consider this, then how messed up it is that people are so scared of rejection. They would rather go for those routes rather than ask. Because if he says no, I don't want to get married to you, that's for them the most devastating thing. Why are we lying? Right? People lie for different reasons, whatever it is. But I am assuming that as human beings, we understand that lying ain't cool though. Just in general. Why we do it, different reasons. And I don't know if there are any good ones. I don't know if there are any good ones. I'm just saying, but people do
South
lie.
Africans lie more than other people.
I don't know. You see, that again is something that you're probably more equipped to tell me than I can tell you. Because you get to experience... You've had years of the experience of the other side, and then years also of experience on this side.
It's like this thing.
I can't say yes or no about that,
So,
but I'm just saying that.
So an example of that is this thing of false promises.
Yes.
Which that's actually another thing that I really want to talk about because it is so present all the time. I see people doing that with their children, which I find mortifying. Like it freaks me out. Saying to a kid. Example. So we had a braai at our place a couple of weeks ago or whatever, and there was these people that I can't even remember who they were. They were like friends of my dad or whatever, and they came with a small child. She was like maybe 5, 6 or something, and I could tell she's bored. There's no other kids around. You know, she's like with these grown-ups. At some point, I asked her uncle, whoever had brought her, can I put on some like kiddies show for her so that she can watch, because she's literally just sitting like that. She's not incorporated into conversation. She's just sitting there, right? And then he said, yeah. And then I put on the shows for her. And then he says to me, yeah, he told her that there was going to be children there because she didn't actually want to come. She wanted to go home. I said, but you knew there was not going to be children here. And he's like, yeah, but I had to get her out of the house. Yeah. I had to get her to come with me. Yeah. Otherwise, she was going to cry on the way here. Yeah. Like, so you lied at her full knowing that there's not going to be any children. Yeah. Now she trusts you. You're an adult in her life. She trusts you, and then she comes there and there's no kids, and she's been disappointed in you, and you've broken her trust from a young age. Yeah. And I see adults doing that with their kids all the time, leaving the house. No, I'm coming back just now. I'm just getting something downstairs. but now they're going to work or they're going to whatever Joburg because
To kids, they say that.
yes,
Oh,
and
yeah,
I
I'm
see that
saying-
shit all the fucking time, and I realize it in adult relationships. I have been told by people, "I'm coming to no tonight. We're gonna go, whatever. We're gonna go for sushi." It's like, okay, cool, and not just in like a vague way. It's like, okay, this is what we're doing tonight, and then disappear. Like, what's happening? Literally, don't hear from the person. And then I ask later, like days later, like, yo, you disappeared. I was waiting. I didn't want to, I couldn't make it, and I didn't want to disappoint you. So then I didn't answer the phone. It's like, but that way I thought you had died.
Yeah,
so
that's
I was
not-
worried.
that's
So
true.
I don't know what that means. But that kind of thing is like a thing in relationships as well.
I don't. If you lied to a child to get her to the party, I think your lie needs to be complete for you to be a responsible adult that doesn't break that child's trust. That's what I think. I don't know how much of a problem I have with that particular lie. If you needed to go to a bride and you're not going to be ruled by a crying child at home, and you need that child to get the hell out of the house, and you said to them they must go see, there's going to be other kids there, and they get there and the other kids, and then you actually complete your lie and say, so now Auntie so-and-so tells me that all the other kids are not here. Sucky. But Auntie Tata says she's got some music things she can play for you. I think for me that's an okay, responsible lie. Because ain't no way I'm getting ruled by a child who's going to make sure I don't go out for a bride. Fuck
I'm
that.
looking at my sister, who's also. Are you seeing it the way I'm seeing or me? Me, yeah.
You're the same. No,
I find it so terrible.
Again, I'm saying to you, it's terrible once there is a... So, is it manipulative? Yes. But I'm just saying human beings continue to manipulate and say things
Yeah,
because
and I
of
think that we
because
take that
of
into
because of whatever reasons. We've had experience and something needs to happen. So actually, to lie this much here is really not going to be a problem because even the lie itself is not a problem. Right? And I'm saying to you, I can never equate that to someone who's lying in relationships in ways that cause a big problem. E.g., let me just give an example. A friend wants to go drink. Girlfriend doesn't want them to go drink. Now already these are things relationships are interesting about. You've been told whether you can go out or can't go out. Fine, whatever. And the only reason you can be told is because if you do go out, there's going to be a problem. It's not that someone's going to hit you. It's just that when you're going to stay here with me and do what? I really would just like to go kick it with Mzu and just have a damn beer with my friends. You always are to, except not always. Actually, I'm always here, sleeping, talking to you and cooking, right? But what I'm saying is, at that particular point in that relationship, this is not a make or break deal of the relationship, but doesn't change the fact that the results of whatever's going to happen are very unpleasant. So what happens is, I'm going to go out for a drink till past. Fine, go. He goes out, right? Now, he's sitting there, and it's past. But now we're in the middle of Mzu's most interesting story about how he just met Tata. Now, right? And he's thinking, oh, shit. If I call and say, babe, look, Mzu just started telling me the most interesting story. I'm going to be out for another hour, I think. There's a fight waiting to happen here. There's a very, very big fight that's going to happen. Firstly, on this phone call, which I'm going to be missing out on this conversation with Mzu right now, because first I have to argue back and forth here, and then I'm going to go home and argue. I choose the lie. I choose the lie.
Oh my
babe,
God.
Not babe. Phone on silent. Cool, Mzu, you're going. And then Mzu, please make the story quick because I have to go. It's past. I'm going to try and get home at 1:45. And then and then he's talking. Now it's like 30 minutes later, it's like, okay, I have to go, bro. Message me when you... Just message me at home and call me because I need you to finish the story for me. Okay, cool, fine. Then he goes. And then it's 30 minutes, and now he's thinking to himself, it's one fight except for two. Get home. Why? But you said past. Oh, my God. Mzu was in the middle of a story. I really didn't think I needed to call you to say Mzu is in the middle of a story. I'm going to be 30 minutes late, which would have had the result. Except two fights. You were going to argue with me on the phone. Why can't you just tell me? Because you're going to argue with me. Instead of saying, okay, cool. Because now I'm here at 1:30, and honestly, what did you miss out in this last 30 minutes? Nothing. So why are we having this unpleasant fight now before we go to bed? Because now I'm annoyed and you also annoyed. And honestly, 30 minutes didn't actually do this to us. What the hell? That's what people like.
I don't know. I think there's something fundamentally wrong with that relationship.
I don't think you're right or wrong. I agree.
I'm confused. I'm already like, why is she telling him where he can go?
So
that is weird to me. Is that the mom or like I don't understand that.
So
that is weird to me.
I agree.
The other thing is that,
I agree.
but I do hear that a lot from people that are like, oh my girlfriend's in hot. Like,
now this is not a South African problem.
Do you not like your girlfriend?
Hold on.
What are you?
Mind you,
why do you
where it's been the worst in the relationships I know is not with South Africans.
Yeah. Who?
These things I'm talking about. When you can go out, don't go out, how much you can drink, you have a drinking problem, you drink too much, is never with South Africans. It's people from Europe in these relationships who do these things. My friends who are dead.
This is also really
my friends who are dead
personally.
scared of their and I say dead
of their
scared
German girlfriends.
Facts. It's clockwork, but it's like, yo, this entire thing is easier, I'm telling you, and more peaceful if we just let you guide it. Just like, Tata, what?
But
should we sit on the couch today?
But that's what men say that they do in relationships.
Yeah.
But the relationships are not healthy. That's what.
No.
That's,
so I don't disagree. So then I'm saying there we have the problems where I want to go out and drink with James, but now apparently I always want to drink all the time. I think you always only want to go to the mountain all the time. I think you only ever want to chill at home all the time. I seem to always want to go out all the time. It's just...
I think what you need to do is you need to find a girlfriend that doesn't want to go to the mountain all the time, but that wants to go and drink with you all the time. If that's what. If
that's who you right.
I think.
But now again, this is what I'm saying to you. I enjoy going out drinking without you. I don't want you there with me.
Is it because what you want to do is talk about other women with
Anything.
your guy friends, talk about the cheating? I
don't know.
Weird.
I don't know. I want to be able to talk about sport and not feel dumb because I'm boring someone. I want us to be able to talk about our love for beer, and when someone went to Stuttgart, when they discovered this one beer that they've never understood, and then they want to discuss that for an hour and eat that, be okay. That's what we discussed.
Wow, man, boring.
I want to. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is that you say boring, and they always tell you simple creatures, very simple.
So we need to talk about again also men and women and what our roles are and what we think that our roles should be.
Do you think it gets better when people get older?
If I look around in South Africa, no, I don't think so. I think
it's an interesting thing. I mean,
the roles of men and women, definitely another topic. Whew, so much to talk about. Great actor, rapper.
No, is that what you want to talk about?
Well, that's what I'm saying now, just a rapper, because we didn't actually say that in the beginning. You a rapper, great rapper.
So it's always a very difficult one to define myself. Okay, so this is how I define myself. Someone asks me who I am, I say, my name is Mzu Ntantiso, and I'm an actor.
Yay!
Yeah, maybe we're just talking a lot.
Thank you so much. Woohoo! That was the clap. Thanks.